You well? Hope you've had a fantastic day. It's a bit drizzly over in Wakey, but I'm sure weather wherever you are is a lot better. So on the show today, we've got Greg cooking up a storm in the kitchen. So we'll go over and find out what Greg is doing in a second. I've also got some guests with me in the Cozy Corner. So we'll be meeting them very soon and talking today primarily about the poultry industry. So Greg, always a pleasure to see you because you are the man that cooks up the storm in the corner and feeds us all. I mean, you can't say better than that, really, can we? So, Greg, tell us, what delights are you going to be brewing up for us today in the corner?
Well, that's really kind of you. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing a minced chicken burger. Ooh. And so what we've done is we've got the mince, which we've got from the lovely Shazans. Mm-hmm. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put some sautéed roasted garlic and onion in. Wonderful. We're going to colour that burger so it looks a little bit brown, so it's not as if it's a chicken burger. And then what we're going to do is we put some red pepper in, chilli, and we're going to put some parsley in there, and we've already made the mix. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you a little how we're going to mould these burgers.
And this is chicken. It really doesn't look like chicken.
No, and what we do is this is the healthier option. How to fool people thinking it's not chicken. So what we'll just show you this quickly. So we've got this mix all made.
So tell us again then, what have you put in it that's coloured the meat to make it
So we've put a little bit of caramel colouring in. Right. So it gives it a little bit of sweetness as well. Now, some people have these fancy burger presses. You don't need to. Look at that already, just from the bowl. And there's your burger. Oh, you're such an expert. And then another one, look. And what we've got is we've got a little bit of breadcrumb in here as well, so that it binds it. We've got some red chilli in, so it gives you the heat. And all you have to do is just like that. And that's it. It's moulded. And these are going to be your burgers that we're going to be cooking for you.
Wonderful. So, Greg, it looks so quick, and obviously, like, you've done all the prep beforehand. So, if you wanted to add, say, some peppers or some vegetables to the mix for the burgers, can we do that? You can do that. Just ensure that you add a little bit more breadcrumb in, so it absorbs that moisture from if you put peppers in, because they're quite watery. And just so it absorbs that when it's cooking, just so it keeps its shape and its firmness. And that's what we need to do when we do that. Wow. So, and you've clearly disguised the colour. And that's really good, isn't it? It's, especially for children who might turn their nose up, saying, oh, we don't want to eat a chicken burger. But if you were to present them with this, how would they know that it was, obviously the taste will be in the eating later. It will be. So that's what we're going to do, to be honest. And we're going to try and fool you to think that it's not chicken, but it's the healthy option for you today. Well, that's wonderful. So in terms of it's a burger, so obviously we'll be serving it in bread. But if you didn't want to serve it as a burger, because you've got the mix, are there other things that people can make with, different shapes, or could we do it in a different way? And is there any other way of cooking it? Yeah, there is different ways of cooking them. You could just put them on a tray and put them into a hot oven. Okay. And that would cook it probably on about a 180 fan. Yep. So would we be spraying it with oil or brushing it? You could just brush a little bit of oil or spray a little bit of oil onto the tray, but literally you can just cook it in the oven. I'm cooking on the griddle because we've got this available today. And then what you can also do is you can make them into little kofters. So you could even slow cook them. You could even just put them in a pan and get your sauces ready, and you could even add them. Today we're going to do them as burgers. Do you know how I'd love them? Sliders. The miniature burgers. Yeah. So that's what you can do. The size of the burgers, all we're doing is to fit the buns you've got. If you wanted to make a mixture and just get little ones and little buns for the kids or anything, this is what you can do. And it's all the same recipe. That's wonderful. How you shape it and how you make it is totally up to you. We're going to show you burgers tonight, though. So very shortly we'll be coming back, and then we'll be cooking them, and we will then be coming back to Greg to find out more about how he would like to serve them, and what else, what other relishes and other bits that you're gonna suggest we have with them. So that's going to be wonderful. Yeah. So what's your favourite burger? What's my favourite burger? Meat wise. Yeah. I like venison burgers. Oh, venison burgers, don't you know? They are my favourite. But like I say, we don't mind chicken, and we certainly don't mind some lamb as well. I quite like a lamb burger. Yeah. So what, in terms of fat though, is the beef less fat? Is the chicken less fat? Well, the lamb's the fattiest that they do, and that's why I like a venison burger. But the other thing is with this chicken, yes, it is a lot leaner and it's a lot better for you. Good.
So that's what we're doing. We're thinking about your ticker
We
as
are.
well.
We are indeed. We are. So I think that, you know, obviously, like, even though people might think, oh, they're just making burgers, but actually there are so many different ways in which you can do this, how you can use the mix, you know. So I'm presuming that although we've shaped them into burgers, you could probably cook them, you know, just like as mincemeat, you know, with maybe some
You
salt.
could, yeah, you could do that. I mean, you could get the mixture, and if you wanted to, alter the mixture that I've put in, which I've done some red chilli in there, I've done some fresh parsley, but you could even make a Moroccan and put a little bit of apricot in there to make it Moroccan style, because I heard you saying you like a little bit of Moroccan.
And I do like apricots, I have to say. Right, we're going to be going over to the Azan now for Maghrib. And we're going to the London Maghrib Azan. So do look at your own timetable, please, and we'll be back straight after this. So we have with us in the Cozy Corner today, we have Mark and we have Tahir. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Really good to see you. So, Mark, do you want to just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the organisation that you're from?
Yes, my name is Mark. I'm from Gafor. So we're based in Preston in Lancashire. We process chicken. We've been doing that for 60 years. In fact, this year is our 60th anniversary.
Amazing.
Tahir can tell you a little bit about the history of the company, as he's the son of the founder, or one of the founders. We supply halal and red tractor chicken to consumers right across the UK.
Amazing. So, Tahir, tell us a little bit about what your journey has been to where you are now in terms of Gafoors and the organisation, and where you see this going.
Firstly, evening, Ramadan Mubarak.
Khair Mubarak.
To you and all the viewers. Gafoor was based in Kirkham. It was started up by my father and my two late uncles when they first migrated from India in 1964.
Wow.
So it's been a long journey, a lot of hard work, and we process poultry and we supply the local community in Preston. And over the years, the business has developed, and we are one of the leading suppliers to the blue chip manufacturing customers.
Tahir, I'm just going to stop you now because the fast is opening. So I'd really like to offer you a date and some water, please.
Thank you.
There we go.
One for Mark.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
One for you.
Oh, thank you so much. That's lovely. Thank you. See, this is all live TV. Opening our fast with our viewers, live on TV. So here in Wakefield and surrounding areas, the fast has opened. So how many chickens would you say, you know, we consume in the UK?
So in the UK, we process as an industry 20 million birds a week.
Wow.
We consume as an industry 30 million birds a week. So you could ask, how can we consume more than we can process? Well, obviously we import chicken into the UK from other countries around the world, Europe, Thailand, Brazil. So it's a big industry. It's a massive industry.
So that is, I mean, that's a phenomenal amount of chicken.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah. We process at Gafoor in Preston around 1 million birds a week.
A week.
Yes.
That's an astounding number. That means so this is going out. So this is what you supply within the UK.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only supply the UK market.
Currently.
So the UK consumer.
Currently,
yes, with fresh chicken every day.
Wow, that's a phenomenal number. So in terms of the chicken that you provide, obviously, so it's halal.
Correct.
Is it? And so what's the process that you go through then within your industry?
All our chickens are sourced locally from farmers within an 80-mile proximity of the factory. They're all red tractor approved, all fed with locally sourced wheat and feed. So we are 100% supporting the British economy by sourcing locally produced reared birds. And we bring them to the factory, we process them as halal. So we hand slaughter the birds, and we basically supply a vast majority of the market, all as halal, Red Tractor approved. The site is a BRC accredited site, and we have local imams, and we also are approved by the reputable approved bodies throughout the country, and we are signatories of the Halal Charter.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the Halal Charter. What does that mean? So I'm just thinking, for our viewers, I think, everyone, from a consumer point of view, we only know what happens to the point of when we purchase the meat that we're now going to go home and cook. But what happens before that? And it's a long process, and it's a very complex, and very thorough process that you've already alluded to. So what happens within the process of the certification?
So all the birds, as Tahir just said, they're grown to a Red Tractor standard. So every single bird that comes onto site is reared, is brought into the site under that Red Tractor scheme. So we know from a welfare point of view, the bird has gone through a good quality farm. It's been reared on the farm. It's been brought into the factory. Every bird that we process is hand slaughtered. So that's in line with the Halal Charter. And because we are approved by these reputable halal organisations, they verify that we are following that scheme. They also go to our customers to make sure that that product sold as halal is also traceable back to that farm. So if anybody comes to the factory and says, we bought these birds or this chicken at this point in time, we can actually trace that product right back to the hatchery when those eggs were hatched. So
that's very thorough then, isn't it?
That's the reason why the UK has got such a high standard in terms of what we do.
And is that, I'm just thinking aloud now, but is that something that's recognised outside of the UK? The thoroughness of the process that, obviously like the British sort of poultry industry goes through.
Yeah.
What we find is the standards that we have in the UK are a very high standard, and product that's sourced from overseas do not have the same standards as what we have in the UK.
So that in itself must raise quite a lot of issues and questions around expansion of the UK industry. Yep. So at the moment, you were saying that there's about 30%, or is it 10% that's imported?
10 million, but 10 million or 30 million. So yes, 30% of the product consumed in the UK is imported.
So do they have to meet the same standards? How is that?
Not necessarily. Every single continent has a different standard of operating.
Right.
We're only focused on what we do in the UK. We don't exactly know what everybody else does, but we know, based on looking at the cost of chicken imported into the UK, they operate a different standard because, this is where we may not be competitive because we're operating at a much higher cost to produce that product. If you look at halal chicken in the UK, so 6 million birds, or the equivalent of 6 million birds are consumed in the UK every week as halal, but we only process 2 million of those birds in the UK. And we're producing 1 million of those birds.
Wow. So you're saying you process 2 million of those birds?
No, we consume.
We consume,
as UK processed 2 million birds.
So would you say that the halal part of the poultry industry is growing?
Yes. Substantially over the years, the stats to support the growth of the halal market. We eat more, we consume more protein than others in the halal sector. So it is a growing market which needs supporting through the growth of the UK market. And
because I can remember when I was growing up that chicken was, because I'm very old, because chicken was a bit of a special occasion food, but now it seems to be much more prevalent and common in how we live our lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pause you there because Greg, how are things going in the kitchen? Are you ready for us?
We're looking good.
Right then, well, I'd love for you to come and join me
Sure.
over where Greg is making this amazing food for you to try.
Excellent.
And we can carry on.
To open up the pot.
Yeah. Okay, Greg, so this is all looking very fantastic. Oh my gosh, and it smells amazing.
How's
Please,
it
guys,
smelling?
would you like
Is
to
it
take a
smelling
seat?
good? Please take a seat, guys. We're going to
Take a
start
seat.
feeding you some food in a
Smells
second.
fantastic,
Thank
Greg.
you.
That's not bad for your chicken burger, is it, eh? Now, guys, we're going to dish you some food up. We've got it on the grill, obviously. We're going to put you some up. We're going to let you try it. I'll cut it up so you can either use your fingers. We're going to get you some serviettes of it.
Yep.
So, what we'll do is, we'll give you a couple of those.
Thank you.
Seeing as it's going to be a burger in your hand.
Thank you.
How's that?
Thank you.
Great stuff. So, yeah, I mean, so, you know, like, we don't often think about, like I say, you know, I wouldn't have really thought about all of the background that happens for the produce to be ready for me to just go and buy and cook at home
Yeah.
and eat, you know, but there is so much that happens within that.
Yeah.
So what would you say then is the future, you know, what's the trajectory, what's the direction of travel for the poultry industry, the halal poultry industry in the UK? Like from your own point of view, from the forest?
Yeah. I mean, right from the, the starting point is bird welfare. That's what we're all focused on. So it's an industry we're focused on. How do we improve in terms of bird welfare, and then how do we maintain our competitive edge versus those imports coming into the UK, and how do we educate the consumer as to how we do things in the UK so much better than other places in the world.
I mean, just knowing about the quality of meat and the standards that we have in the UK, and the fact that they are standards that are higher than other countries, you know, so that's, you know, that in itself is quite important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Greg, I can see you're serving up there. Oh, this is the most amazing gourmet, you know, like burger stand that I have ever seen. It looks brilliant. I hope you guys are looking forward to this, because I am.
Sure are. I'm hungry, me. How about you?
Very.
Who's hungriest?
I can
Well,
decide ladies first.
no, please. I go with the ladies first, but I have to go with guests first today. Yeah. Yeah. So, it's just the aroma. I think anything that's on a griddle that might have onions in it always smells fantastic, doesn't it? And then Greg is our expert chef. So what kind of things are you having at home at the moment for opening your fast and just generally on an evening?
We are having, my wife cooks a lovely chicken curry.
Amazing.
We have halim. We
I
have
like halim.
biryani,
Oh,
chicken jalfrezi.
stop it!
You
It's
name
like
it.
you're giving me the whole menu of the most wonderful dishes that you do. You know, when you're kind of like feeling hungry,
Yeah.
and then you think of something that you know
There you
you'd
go,
really
young man.
love to
Thank you
eat.
very much.
Those.
Thank you.
That's what they sound
Exactly.
like.
I have to say that she is the best cook in the world.
Oh.
Yeah, you know. So if she's
That's
watching,
amazing.
excellent.
Tahir brings food into work every day, so we sit around the table at lunchtime outside of Ramadan, obviously,
But
and,
that is- but
and
that
enjoy
is-
the food.
That is one of the wonderful things about Ramadan,
Yeah.
though, isn't it? It's like it brings people together. It is very much about, you know, like eating together, being with family. And if you're anything like me and you spend all day thinking about food, if I'm not thinking about food, then I'm making food. I'm not making food, then hopefully it's iftar time and I'm eating the food. So it's like 3 very visible steps for me in Ramadan.
Right, guys. Oh, I didn't
Thank
give
you
you a
so
full
much.
bit.
Greg, why don't you half this with me? Half.
No, you're all right. You
looks
took
amazing.
Like I say, I've always got other people to feed.
Down here.
Thank you.
Greg, this is brilliant.
Yeah, nice kick.
What do you
Really
think?
Nice kick to
Really
it, isn't
nice.
it?
Yeah?
Nice
You like the
picture.
flavours that are in
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Well, we've also got some sautéed onion in there, some sautéed garlic, and we do that and colour it, sauté it off without colour before we add it into the raw meat. So you get that sweetness already out, so you're not just relying it on the grill.
This is lovely, and in the brioche bun, it's very gourmet. And you were saying that you'd put, was it caramel?
I put a little bit of caramel in there, because you wouldn't believe that was chicken, would you?
No.
No. And it is very slightly flavoured it, but it's not overpowering at all. It's
No,
lovely.
no, it just
So-
gives it that nice colour.
So let's just remind our viewers then that if they were wanting to find the recipe where would they find the recipe?
Well, you'd find it on that Shazan's website, and that's where all the recipes are that we're going to be doing over this Ramadan. And they can just go log on to that website, and every recipe that we've done is on there.
That's wonderful. That's great. So, any plans over Ramadan or beyond that relate to chicken?
I'm planning to go to Saudi Arabia to spend the last 10 nights in Mecca.
Amazing. Mashallah,
So
that'd be very
that's
good.
all my plans, and spending the Eid day with my parents in Mecca. And we're taking the family with me, yes.
That would be really great.
Those are my plans.
That sounds really good. Well, we hope you have a really safe and wonderful trip.
Thank you.
Is Mark going with you?
No, I've got to stay behind and look after the business.
Oh.
So we're going through a big growth plan at the moment. So Tahir can go away and enjoy himself, knowing that there's people behind left to look after the business.
Well, whilst he's there, I'm sure he'll be praying for the business and all connected to it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sure. Will do.
So, Mark, do you do much cooking?
I do. I try to, but unfortunately, we're so busy. I don't get much time at home to do it. So the weekend, I will try my best. My wife will probably.
Best dish? What would your wife say was your best dish?
I do a good curry. So she'd probably say that. I would think, but
Chicken, lamb, veg.
I tend to cook either chicken or lamb. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got a good recipe dish from one of the guys at work. A fish recipe curry. So I need to try that as well.
That sounds lovely. I do like a bit of fish. And what about you? So, do you entertain anything in the kitchen, cooking wise, or?
Unfortunately, no. I've been asked to stay busy at work and focus on
So,
bringing
favourite
the money
food then?
in.
What if someone was making you a meal? What would your favourite? If you were going to ask our chef Greg here, for a particular dish, what would you be asking him?
I like biryani.
Biryani with the rice in.
Yes,
Yes.
biryani.
It's a lot of favourite dishes. Someone I've presented with last year, his favourite dish is biryani. He loves biryani. But what do you think to the chicken burgers, guys?
Beautiful.
Has it surprised you?
love it.
Yes.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Has it?
I wouldn't have guessed that was chicken.
No, well, that's one of the things you see.
Yeah.
You saw, it's been made,
Yeah.
and people think because it's not, you eat with your eyes.
Yes,
People think that it's not chicken. Yeah,
And yeah.
it's still moist, isn't it?
Sure is.
It's very moist, and I think you're right. We do 50% of eating is what we see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there breast meat in there, or is it
I think it's there's a little bit of breast and it's thigh meat,
thigh meat? Yeah.
so that you get that moisture
moist,
from the thigh
succulent.
meat. Yes,
Yeah.
it's starting to get more popular. When I came into the chicken business of developing poultry products, breast meat was the main thing. Now, thigh, drum fillet, I see is now on the getting to be quite popular. For kebabs. So yeah, it is. It's getting really popular now, and because it always used to be on the continent where you had thigh meat, and we was all in the UK. It was all breast meat.
So we're coming to the end of the show, guys. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show and for giving us that lowdown. And
you.
Greg, thank you as always for
You're
the
welcome.
amazing dish that you've prepared, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to enjoy it more when we're finished. So guys, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Do join us for the next instalment of the iftar show, which will be tomorrow. Greg will be cooking up a storm in the kitchen again, and we look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, if you'd like to look up any of the recipes that we've been profiling in our last few shows, then you can do that by going to the Shazans website, which is www.shazans.com. Okay, guys, take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.